In the year 24 BC, the greatest empire the world had ever seen marched south into Africa, certain of an easy conquest. They were about to meet a one-eyed queen who would make Rome itself blink. This is the story of Amanirenas and the war that stopped an empire cold. Far up the Nile, beyond the deserts of Egypt, lay a kingdom Rome barely understood. The kingdom of Kush, its capital Meroe, glittered with more pyramids than all of Egypt. Its people smelted iron and traded gold and ivory across 2 continents. They were feared archers from a land the Egyptians called Tarseti, the land of the bow. And they were ruled by a line of warrior queens, the mighty Candakes. Amanirenas was one of them, fierce, battle-scarred, and blind in one eye. When her husband the king fell in battle, she did not retreat into mourning. She picked up his bow. To the north, Rome had just devoured Egypt. Cleopatra was dead. Augustus was master of the world, and his generals looked south toward Kush's gold. When Rome's tax collectors crossed the border and began seizing Kushite land, they expected obedience. Amanirenas gave them war. In a torchlit hall, the queen gathered her generals and made her decision: strike first. She raised an army of 30,000, archers, spearmen, and war elephants, and marched north into Roman Egypt, a storm of dust on the horizon. Under a moonless night, her army fell upon the Roman towns of Syene and Philae. The garrisons never stood a chance. They shattered the marble statues of Caesar Augustus that Rome had planted on Kushite soil. And Amanirenas took the emperor's severed bronze head back to Meroe. She buried it beneath the steps of her temple, so that every worshipper who entered would tread forever upon the face of Rome. Augustus would not stand for it. He sent his finest general, Petronius, up the Nile. A cold, disciplined commander with a hardened Roman army. Roman discipline was merciless. Kushite towns burned. The holy city of Napata was razed to the ground. And Amanirenas' own son was captured, dragged in chains toward Rome. In the fighting, an arrow found her face and took the sight of her remaining eye. But the queen bound her wound and returned to the field. She would not kneel. For 3 brutal years, she bled the legions in the desert. Every fort they built, she besieged. Every advance she turned to dust. Rome had conquered the known world, but it could not hold this burning stretch of sand. And then Augustus did something he had done for no other enemy. He sent envoys to negotiate. Her ambassadors sailed across the sea to the island where the emperor himself waited. And the master of the Mediterranean granted peace on her terms. Rome pulled back its border. Kush would pay no tribute, no surrender, no submission. The one-eyed queen had fought the Roman Empire to a draw and won her people's freedom. Rome would swallow 100 kingdoms after her. It never took Kush. Amanirenas ruled on, unbroken. For 2,000 years, the emperor's bronze head lay buried in the sand where she left it. When archaeologists finally lifted it into the light, Augustus was still staring up from beneath the feet of the queen, who refused to look away. If this story moved you, subscribe to the Africa Report for more forgotten history of Africa.